For thousands of years, Stonehenge has stood on the Salisbury Plain in England, silent and mysterious. When I first learned about this ancient monument as a child, I was captivated by those massive stones arranged in perfect circles. Like millions of others, I wondered, why did people build this? What were they thinking when they dragged those enormous rocks across the countryside? We've all heard the theories. Some say it was a temple for sun worship. Others claim it was an astronomical calendar. There are even wild ideas about aliens or druids performing strange rituals. But recent archaeological discoveries have given us something far more fascinating than any legend or myth. The real purpose of Stonehenge tells us a profound story about our ancestors and what mattered most to them. Let me take you on a journey through time to understand what scientists have uncovered. Stonehenge wasn't built in a single burst of activity. The construction happened in stages over roughly 1,500 years, beginning around 3000 BCE. Think about that for a moment. This means great-great-grandparents started something their distant descendants would finish. The commitment required is staggering. The earliest phase was a simple circular ditch and bank. Nothing fancy, but it marked the spot as special. Then came the placement of timber posts. After that, the famous bluestones arrived, transported from Wales over 150 miles away. Each stone weighs several tons. Moving them required incredible effort, organization, and determination. Finally came the massive sarsen stones we see today, weighing up to 25 tons each. These were shaped, smoothed, and fitted together with remarkable precision. Some still stand perfectly balanced after 5 millennia. When I imagine the generations of people who worked on this project, I feel a deep connection to them. They weren't that different from us. They loved their families, felt joy and sorrow, and wanted to create something meaningful. For decades, archaeologists excavated around Stonehenge, finding fragments of pottery, animal bones, and tools. But the real breakthrough came when researchers examined human cremated remains found at the site. Using modern radiocarbon dating and isotope analysis, scientists discovered something remarkable. Stonehenge contained the cremated remains of at least 63 individuals, possibly many more. These weren't random burials. The people interred there came from far across Britain. Some had traveled from Scotland, others from Wales, and many from various parts of England. The isotope analysis was particularly revealing. By examining the chemical signatures in bones and teeth, scientists can determine where a person grew up based on the geology and water they consumed. The evidence showed that Stonehenge drew people from the furthest reaches of the British Isles. This changed everything we thought we knew. The picture that emerged from years of research points to a single powerful conclusion. Stonehenge was a monument to unity. During the Neolithic period, Britain was home to scattered communities. There was no central government, no cities, no unified nation. People lived in small farming settlements, relatively isolated from one another. Yet somehow, these distant communities came together to build something extraordinary. Stonehenge became a place where different groups could meet, share their dead, and affirm their connection to one another. Think about the logistics. Families traveled for days or weeks, bringing the cremated remains of their loved ones. They participated in ceremonies, feasted together, and helped maintain or expand the monument. Archaeological evidence supports this interpretation beautifully. At Durrington Walls, a settlement near Stonehenge, researchers found remains of massive feasts. Pig bones showed that animals were brought from all corners of Britain. The style of pottery varied, indicating different regional traditions coming together. Chemical analysis of food residues revealed communal cooking on an enormous scale. We can picture the scene. Hundreds of people gathered, cooking together, eating together, mourning together, celebrating together. The monument served as the physical symbol of their shared identity. Now, you might be wondering about the astronomical alignments. Yes, Stonehenge does align with the summer and winter solstices. On the longest day of the year, the sun rises directly over the heelstone. On the shortest day, it sets between the great trilithons. These alignments are real and intentional. But here's what matters. The astronomy wasn't separate from the social purpose. The celestial events provided a calendar for when people should gather. The solstices marked the appropriate times for communities to make their pilgrimages, hold their ceremonies, and reaffirm their bonds. Ancient people watched the sky carefully because their survival depended on understanding the seasons for planting and harvesting. Linking their great monument to the movements of the sun and moon made perfect sense. The cosmos itself seemed to bless their gatherings. When we stand at Stonehenge during the summer solstice today, surrounded by modern pilgrims and tourists, We're continuing a tradition that stretches back 5,000 years. The human desire to mark important moments and gather with others hasn't changed. Understanding why our ancestors valued unity so deeply requires us to consider their world. Life during the Neolithic was hard. Farming had recently been introduced to Britain. Communities faced crop failures, harsh winters, diseases, and conflicts over resources. In such conditions, maintaining connections with distant groups provided crucial advantages. If your settlement experienced a poor harvest, allied communities might share their surplus. If disease struck, you could seek help from others. Marriage alliances between groups strengthened these bonds. But there was something else at play, something more profound. Humans have always needed to feel part of something greater than themselves. We need meaning, purpose, and connection. Stonehenge gave scattered communities a shared identity and a physical place where that identity became real. The monument declared, "We are one people. We share ancestors. We share customs. We share the land and the sky. When we bring our dead here, they join with the dead of other communities, and we become eternal together." Stonehenge didn't stand alone. The surrounding landscape contains hundreds of burial mounds, ceremonial pathways, and other monuments. Together, they formed a sacred geography that reinforced social connections and cultural memories. The avenue, a processional pathway, connected Stonehenge to the River Avon. People likely traveled along this route as part of their journey to the monument. The act of walking together, following the same path countless ancestors had walked, created a powerful sense of continuity. Nearby Woodhenge, made of timber posts, may have served complementary purposes. Some researchers suggest it represented the realm of the living while Stonehenge represented the realm of the dead. Together, they formed a complete cosmological landscape. Standing before Stonehenge today, knowing what we now know, I feel humbled. Our ancestors, with nothing but stone tools, muscle power, and determination, created something that speaks across millennia. They teach us that human beings have always craved connection. We've always needed to feel part of something larger than our individual lives. We've always understood that gathering together, honoring our dead, and marking important moments strengthens the bonds that hold communities together. In our modern world, where technology often isolates us despite connecting us digitally, Stonehenge reminds us of what truly matters. Those ancient people knew that shared experiences, physical presence, and communal rituals create the glue that holds societies together. The monument also demonstrates the incredible achievements possible when people cooperate across vast distances and multiple generations. No single person or even single generation could have built Stonehenge. Success required sustained effort, shared vision, and trust that future generations would continue the work. The real purpose of Stonehenge has finally been revealed through careful scientific analysis, archaeological excavation, and thoughtful interpretation. This magnificent monument served as a place of unity where distant communities across Britain came together to honor their dead, celebrate their shared identity, and strengthen the bonds between groups. Stonehenge was never just about astronomy, though the celestial alignments mattered. Nor was it simply a temple, though spiritual beliefs certainly played a role. At its heart, Stonehenge was about people connecting with people, about forging a common identity across a scattered landscape, about declaring that despite distance and differences, we belong to each other. Stonehenge stands as a testament to the power of unity, the importance of connection, and the human capacity to create meaning together. That purpose remains as relevant today as it was 5 millennia ago.